I told you these Predator motors are resilient, and as long as you just take care of them, they definitely take care of you. So this is probably the last power washer I'm ever gonna have, to be honest with you. All right, welcome back everybody. It's gonna be kind of a different video, not really a fix it. Well, I guess it's kind of like a fix it. So I came up with this idea. I'm sure many others have done it. It's all essentially the same thing. It functions all the same, what I'm about to do. But I have gotten tired of this power washer. I had an electric one. It lasted a very long time, maybe 6-7 years, and it finally went out. Well, if you know me or a little bit about this channel, I tend to do detailing. So this is a pretty essential thing to have, a power washer for the cars and stuff like that, plus around the house and everything. So I needed one ASAP. We got on Marketplace. I got this one for 50 bucks. Yes, it worked. No, it's not good. It got me by. It does the job. It just seems like it just does not have the power. And I don't know if it's, so the guy that I got this from, he fixes them. So he got it running and stuff like that. I don't know if he did good, if he tuned the carb good. It ran, it got me through what I needed to, but now it's just a big headache and a frustration. So by the way, I'm in my underground lair, my second workshop. The garage is basically my main, but it is way too hot. It's about 3 degrees away from hell out there. So we're just gonna go ahead and do stuff inside now. I'm not starting it or anything, but for today's project, this motor coming off, and I'm putting on a tried and true 212 Predator. Got me a new one of these. They're pretty cheap now. Harbor Freight, 150 bucks. You can't beat it. Sometimes you can catch them on Marketplace for even cheaper. Used is one thing, that's fine. You can almost never damage these unless you leave it outside and really try to damage these. So what I'm about to do, like I said, put the 212 on there. I love this motor. I've got it on all my mini bikes. I got the oil for it. Obviously you need oil, these come dry. And as far as the new wand, I'm going to upgrade the wand. This one again came from the electric one that's still running. It just has its quirks. I think it gets jammed and stuck, and the water just shoots out. It doesn't, that little end doesn't cork it. So I'm going to upgrade it. When I do upgrade it, I kind of did a little bit of research, mainly just looking at reviews of all different types. Again, I'm trying to do this kind of on a budget because we don't want to go out and, I know I spent 50 bucks and I kind of got what I deserve out of this, but I don't want to spend another $500 on one. So upon research and reading reviews and stuff, a lot of people that complain about any of the nozzles that you go to look for, they start leaking, internal leaking, brittle plastic, stuff like that, you know, normal complaints. I don't know if they need to go in and retighten things. Some are cheaper than others. So basically what I'm getting at is this had pretty good reviews. Also, from what I can understand is, if you're trying to run any power washer, if you're trying to get another gun and it puts out quite a bit of PSI, this one probably wouldn't have had an issue leaking and stuff, being only 2,000 PSI. But we're going to definitely go for more than that. So you don't want your gun maxed out. So all that pressure going through there is probably why it's leaking. So just keep that noted. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is a cheap project or product, but I'm not going to do that. I know I'm definitely not going to go to 4,000 PSI. I'm aiming for anywhere from 31 to 34, 35,000 or 3,500 PSI. That should be just fine. So I got this sprayer. It's a short sprayer. So I did, for $10 more, I got two 17-inch extensions. I might not always need it. Foam cannon and car detailing, that should be pretty sufficient. But when I'm doing the sidewalks and the house, stuff like that, maybe even the top of SUVs and stuff, that's where this comes in handy. So for $9 for two more, you can't beat it. Next is the main part. Well, other than the motor, you got the water pump. All the links for all this stuff will be down in the description below. This water pump was less than $60. So it's going to be 3/4 inch shaft driven, which is what the Predator is. It's got the keyway in there. This is also compatible with a lot more motors, so you don't have to get the Predator. I just know that these things are resilient. The bolt pattern on here is pretty common as well with a number of different motors, but I'm pretty sure it's just fine for this Predator. This will put out apparently a maximum 3,500 PSI or 3,400. Don't entirely quote me here. Again, the link will be in the description. I know it's going to be what I want though. It's definitely more than 2,000. So right here's your valve. Let's see. That's going to be for your hose, for your pressure washer, the wand itself, and then this is your inlet, your garden hose. So that's going to be right on the side of it. It came with mounting hardware, the Allen wrench to do it, which I got my own tools. I got the keyway just in case you don't have one. And then this is your chemical siphon or your soap siphon, whatever. That's basically it. Theoretically, I can just take that out, put oil in it, you know what I mean? Bolt that on, run water through it, bolt it on the cart and be good. But like I said, I wanted to upgrade the sprayer while I'm at it. Get some extensions too. I didn't have those. I just had one fixed size. I'm going to take a little step further. When I do mount it on the cart, I notice when this is running, again, this is kind of a piece of crap, but same rule applies. This motor is bolted directly onto the cart, which then the cart vibrates and shakes and does all this other crazy stuff. I want to try and minimize it. It's not going to fully take it away, but I'm going to do the best I can. So I got these 3/8. These are like rubber shoes, insulator, vibration insulators. You could probably search any of those names. I got this at my hardware store. So I'm going to drill the cart, put a washer down, put one of these down, put another washer on top of it, and then mount my motor on top of that. All four corners so that, you know, it helps absorb the vibration, doesn't travel through the cart. And then also in the hardware store, I just picked up some more nuts, bolts, washers. I'm always working on stuff, so that's kind of an inventory thing. And that about does it. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. First thing to do is take off this hose off this motor, then go up underneath and dismount the motor. All right, there's that. The dismount, pretty simple. Just actually only had 3 bolts out of the, oh wait, no, there is only 3 slots. So only 3 bolts, took it off. That was reinforced. It had a really thick piece of cardboard lining in there. So I figured leave the pump on and just sit it down, and it gives it a motor place to sit. This floor, don't mind this floor. Like I said, this is my workshop, man. In the winter or when it's super hot out, I usually, if I can, I can bring projects down here, and I just easy clean up, but also stains. Maybe paint it one day. All right, so back to what we were doing. Now it's time for the motor. Just gonna basically unbox that. Nothing crazy special. If you want to learn more about these Predator motors, by all means, YouTube it, Google, all that stuff. You'll just, these are great motors. You may or may not know about them, but I just thought I should note that. So now it's just a simple unbox. Pull it out of the foam. At that point, it's actually ready to go. You just need to put oil in it. So if we got that before we start it, we'll put oil in it. But just kind of take it out of the box. I'm gonna find a good spot on here. If I have to, I'll get another plate. I'll figure all that out. I'm not sure, didn't think really about that all the way through, but I just need to mount it on that cart somehow. And after that, you find your holes. You mark your holes, you drill your holes, and then we move on to the rubber feet and stuff. Here's the motor, brand new, beautiful motor. I love these things. They're super creditable. Like any little project, go-karts, mini bikes, trikes, anything you can almost think of. Tillers, wood chippers, almost unlimited. This is a really stout motor. They also make bigger ones, you know, 301 cc, 224 cc, 456 cc, 600 something cc. Like, it just goes on. Predator is a good brand. Harbor Freight. All right, so now we're going to pay attention to here and mount our water pump. Okay, how you mount it, I don't think that matters, but I think I do want the garden hose part down. I really don't think that matters though. So all you gotta do is match up that keyway with the key right on here, put it on, and then mount your bolts. Alright, simple as that. Like I said, just line that keyway up, push it on, line up your holes, use the provided hardware that they gave you, make sure you put the washers on, and you should be good to go. Now, you don't have to get out a cheater bar and try and put 600 foot-pounds of torque on these. Understand that this is also cast aluminum, but you can still crank it down pretty good. It's going to be running and vibrating. Maybe some thread lock would be nice on this. We'll see. If it starts going loose, then I'll just back them out, put thread lock on it, put it back on. So, but there it is, mounted on. Again, hose inlet, hose outlet, and that's it. This should be to siphon. Put that little hose on there to siphon your soap if that's what you want to do. Maybe you can get a reserve or a reservoir or some type of bucket, mount it on your cart. You might not have the same cart, but mount it somewhere, put a 5-gallon bucket down. I don't know, but that tube will come in handy. I'm probably not going to use it because I got a cannon for all that. So actually this might be it, I'm not sure. So now the next step is to mount it. I obviously want the pull string portion in the front right here, so the pump will be out back, which then might work in my favor to have this entire plate right here for my mounting and just leave that damn thing open. That doesn't bother me none at all. Also, another frustration with this old one, I didn't think about it until afterwards. It really leaked. I tried 3 or 4 different fittings on that, and when the hose running, it just leaked and leaked and leaked. So I know I was losing water at that point. It wasn't crazy horrible, but it definitely was leaking. So that's not something you want when you're trying to spray the water and put it in through a pump. Alright, so here we go. We're just going to mount it up. If you want, and I know in the owner's manual and on the box as well, let's see, yeah, right here, that actually tells you your mounting specs, where to put it, you know, stuff like that, where the holes are. So if you wanted to use that template, I always felt Harbor Freight, if by any way you watch this, it'd be cool to add a template in here. Maybe it's where we cut this off and this is like true to size or something like that. That'd be cool for everybody. That way when they go to use these, they just put it on there and use it as a stencil. What I do though is I do actually cut the tab off that. You'll see I'll cut the tab off it, I'll put this motor on it, and then I'll press down really hard so it gets the indentation, and then I'll use it. So if you wonder what I'm doing there, that's exactly what I'm doing. But other than that, let's go ahead and make our template and drill our holes. As you can see, you just press it. Now I wasn't leaning my whole body weight in it. If it looked like it, then don't be fooled. But I was bouncing it around and you kind of getting a little bit rough with it, just so it really indented on there. So now I'm going to go through with a marker just in case this lifts and stuff like that. I'm going to go through a marker and I'm going to mark all the holes. I'm going to specify the portions that I want, and then just gonna trace these holes, and then you could trim down your template so it's smaller and go from there. Alright, so for this I used 5/16. That was the size of the holes on the mounting plate of the motor. I thought it was 3/8, but it's 5/16. So I got 5/16. Again, I'll have these kits down in the description below. I'm pretty sure I could find them maybe on Amazon or something, or relatively the same, but this was my local hardware store, so I think it's kind of, well, you can see here, Project Master, so maybe you can just look that up if you're interested in it. Again, this is more inventory wise. I always do different projects, so nuts and bolts and washers are kind of like, I love having those around, so, but I had to pick up more anyway. Anyway, 5/16. These are the locking washers. Shouldn't be a huge deal, but again, vibration, so I'm gonna go with that. Now remember, like I said, this is more to give it a platform of its own instead of the red one. It's probably a little overkill. I don't care. This is, pretend my hand is the red platform, put that down. I'm gonna put this, these are kind of tapered, not by choice, but I'm gonna put the big part on the bottom. Then I'm gonna put another washer on it like that. Okay, so that's gonna be the insulator. So as it's vibrating and stuff like that, it won't travel through the cart and stuff. Then I'll put the motor on top of that. Then I'll put this through everything and then tighten it down with a nut. All right, they're all on. As you can tell, they smash down, which is what you want. You want all that surface area to be with the rubber. You can get stiffer ones and have it taller. I really don't want it taller. I want it pretty stable. But that rubber's still going to help. It's still going to help insulate it. It's not going to take it completely away, but it is definitely going to help insulate it. I was going to do rubber washers, but it wouldn't have been what I wanted. I wanted to smash it all down. I wanted it to have plenty of the rubber material. The washer, it'll kind of compress too much and then you really won't get the effect. But as you can tell, so what I had to do, the kit that I got, I figured that it would be long enough bolts in it. I mean, obviously it is, but isn't. So I had to work the sides down. So I tightened that one with just a nut. This one with just a nut, no washers on them, except for up here when I had the washer and then the rubber underneath. And then once you tighten one down, then you can go on the other side and your bolt will be down a lot more. And I put the lock washer on that, and then I just bounce back and forth. So honestly, probably about 3 minutes. But all four of them have the lock washers on. All four of them have the big washers on. I definitely wanted both washers on there, but at the same time, the red base is only drilled to the size of the bolt, so it's actually pretty fine. I more wanted the big washers for the bottom of the motor because it's not completely flat. It's got molding and stuff like that on it. So now it has, all four corners have a flat surface. That's how it looks when it's mounted. Right there's the pump. Again, mounted and tight. So in theory, that's it. We're ready. We'll see how it holds up. If I do not like it, which I don't see why, I'm pretty sure everything on it will be fine. I can lift it just fine. Plenty of leverage on it and stuff like that. It's not front heavy like you'd probably think. If I do end up having a little issue, then I'll move it back. I got a big hole there. Now your cart might vary. It might not be a big issue to you. However you do yours, it might work out just fine. But I got some steel and stuff like that, and I could probably just weld a steel plate on top of it and move it back if I wanted to. I'm pretty sure this will be just fine. Regardless, the goal of this is to make this a power washer, the 212 Predator, and get rid of that junk. As far as I'm concerned, it's good. I will assemble the gun and all that stuff, put the hose on, and then put some oil in it. We should be good to fire it up and get it started. Alright, now it's time for the oil. It calls for 0.5 quart, so we'll just put in half of a quart. It does specify that over 32 degrees Fahrenheit that you want 10W30. I'm doing 5W30. It's summer here. You always want to do a break-in oil on this to help flush it all out. A thinner oil and stuff like that, I want to flush it out. After maybe about an hour or two of running this, then I'm going to flush it and then put in my good oil. So this is just to start it, initiate, you know, the beginning steps and stuff like that. But so half a quart. All right, now that that's done, just put gas in it, choke it, go ahead and start it up. It does say note on top, no E85. Honestly, only 93. If I would only run 93 in these. I only run it in my mini bikes and stuff like that. You kind of want the better premium fuel. I do it with my lawnmowers and all that stuff too. You might as well, it's a gallon. So now just gas, hook up the water, and let's see if it works. All right, a little backstory about these sawhorses. I've had these sawhorses for at least 4 or 5 years. Every project that I do, paint, it doesn't matter what it is. Any project I do, usually I have both of my sawhorses and a piece of wood on top. Yeah, so it took the paint off almost instantly. You see here, it was eating up that wood. So you want to be a little bit mindful with it. That's pretty impressive. That's not even the crazy part. The crazy part is that, so when you break these in, you're not supposed to go over the turtle. You want to not have it at max RPM or anything like that until you at least go through your first cycle. Like I said, about an hour or two, maybe 3, and then drain your oil and then put the heavier weight in. And then you can start using it full tilt. So that was eating up the wood, taking the paint and all that off damn near instantly with it being on low. So I say that with these motors right around there, you're talking about maybe 2,000, 2,500 RPM. These motors are definitely good for about 6,000 RPM, no problem. just in the form that it is now. If you hop them up, obviously you can get a little bit more out of it, a little more power, but we're not trying to do that. Main reason is because I don't want the air filter exposed to all the moisture. So this is definitely going to be sufficient that I need. This pump, it startled me for a second, but then I realized what it is. This is a valve, so when you're running and not using water and it's building up in here, that's a relief. So if you get this pump, then just expect that. Other than that, this thing works great. I think one of my challenges of also with having the power washer is this really long hose. I think I got a 50-foot hose here. That helps for when I do detailing, to where, like, you know, I can post up here and I can go all around the whole car. You know, it's not going to be an issue. So that's why I like that. But obviously more hose means you need a little bit more pressure and more run. So that being said, I say this worked out just as planned. Gotta wait for that motor to break in a little bit more, and that's basically it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And let's see, so altogether I bought the old power washer for 50 bucks. Now if yours broke, you got a free stand. If you look on Marketplace, you can find junk ones and stands and stuff like that. Throw somebody 25, 50 bucks for the stand. That's all you need. The motor itself, brand new out of the box at Harbor Freight for 150 bucks. Do not get the 3 horsepower 79cc. Just get the 212cc. For a little bit more, you can get the 224, but that's neither here or there. 212 is all you would need for this. Plenty of power. And then, so that's 150 out the door, 160, and then this was 55, I believe, on Amazon. Other than that, if you already have the attachments, you already got them. So now you're in it for about 250. If you get the attachments and the hose, sometimes you can buy kits, man. You don't need to go crazy. You've seen that this was on low, so on low you're probably good with a kit that's doing about 2500 psi. I didn't really want any limits, and like I said, the longer hose, I need more pressure. The more pressure, it really helps the foam cannon, obviously dirt and grime, stuff like that. Plus I was over here messing around with some things too, like what if I need to clean those sawhorses, or you know, I was eating up a tree. I did the sidewalk a little bit, so I was testing it for sure. But this is definitely what you want. So you can build your own power washer with the frame. Build your own frame if you want to get crazy, but this is probably the cost effective way to do it right here. I told you these Predator motors are resilient, and as long as you just take care of them, they definitely take care of you. So this is probably the last power washer I'm ever gonna have, to be honest with you. So if you found this video helpful, please leave a like, share, even comment. You know, if you got any tips, questions, any concerns, any ideas even where we can extend this, let's get you guys some power washers like this and not have to worry about it again. So I really appreciate the support. Till next time.